Hi, welcome to Love Your Life. I am Chris Tackett. I am a mental health nurse by trade. I've been a nurse for about 20 years now. I'm also a life coach, and I'm the co-founder of a business called Omni Institute of Integrated Wellness. And what my mission is to bring coping skills and wellness programs together with practitioners so that people can start living their optimal lives. I brought my daughter with me today. Her name is Larkin Tackett. Larkin's 10, and she's going to be going to CIS intermediate school this fall. And I brought her today because the episode I want to do is called Mind Games, and it's all about what we as parents can do with our kids directly to help them learn mindfulness skills that will enhance so many things for them. Mindfulness is such an important thing that many of us, adults and kids included, don't know anything about. Most of us think that mindfulness is sitting with our legs crossed and saying, "Om," but that's not it. Larkin and I do lots of mindfulness activities, and the reason that we do these things is because they add to nurturing this sense of inner peace. They increase self-esteem. They help you cope better in stressful situations. They decrease stress by nature. And one of the really important things is that it mitigates the effects of bullying. And I know that bullying is a real hot topic right now in our country, and in middle school in particular. It also decreases attention problems and helps kids with social skills. So what I'd like to do today is show you a couple of tools that I have and tell you how you can implement them in your own home. And Larkin and I are going to do a couple of activities together so that you can see how you, the parent or a caregiver or a teacher, can do some of these things for the kids that are in your life. So Larkin, first of all, what is your favorite thing to do? When do you feel most at peace and loving your own life?
When I do like gymnastics, I feel like really peaceful, and because like gymnastics helps me cope.
Yeah, you like gymnastics a lot, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so whenever you're having a bad day, even if you don't have practice, you go out to the trampoline and bounce, or you really are into physical activity as coping skill, right?
Yeah.
And that's really important. Physical activity helps all of us cope. And boy, that's one of those lessons I sure wish I could learn. I know it, but I don't practice it like I probably should. Larkin, though, helps me practice that a little bit more, because she'll say, let's pretend that I'm the trainer and you're the gymnast, and she'll walk me through some of her practice techniques and things like that. I can't do the flips and stuff, but some of the other stuff she'll walk me through. So we have fun doing that, don't we? All right. So one of the other things, if she gets real upset, which actually doesn't happen very often because I've been doing mindfulness things with her since she was a very small child. So she doesn't get upset very often, but it still happens. It happens to all of us, right? But one of the things I do talk to her about is about breathing. And do you remember when we talk about breathing, where's the best place to breathe from, and do you know how to do it? Do you remember?
From your stomach.
Yeah. And how do you how can you teach someone to take those deep breaths from your stomach?
You breathe from your stomach, like a belly breathe.
Yeah, it's called belly breathing, right? And when you take those deep breaths, so if you're feeling anxious, or your child's feeling anxious, or you're getting really angry, and you start to feel that heat rising, this is a great time to practice it. Or if you're having a really hard time sleeping, another really great time to practice this. So what you do is you take in a real big deep breath, right? And you do it with me. And when you take in your big deep breath, you're actually going to push your belly out like it's a big balloon. At the same time you're inhaling, push your belly out. And what that does is it sort of overrides this old caveman brain we have back there and says, she's breathing really deeply. They shouldn't be anxious. And your brain shuts down that anxiety loop. Does it work for you?
Yes.
Yeah, it does. I recently did a TED Talk, and if you're interested in that, it was on how to speak to our kids and actually listen to them. And when I did that TED Talk, oh boy, was I really nervous. I had a lot of belly breathing going on that day. Oh my goodness. But it did help. It was amazing. It was amazing. So belly breathing is one great technique. Also, a mindful pose. And I teach this to my nursing students. I teach college, and they have a lot of anxiety before tests. And Larkin and I have talked about this before some of the standardized testing that she has to do, that there's a pose, it's a mindful pose called the Wonder Woman pose. And what you do is stand up with your feet shoulder width apart and put your hands on your hips like this and stand up very straight and tall, right? And that's called the Wonder Woman pose, or you can call it the Superman pose if you want. And that is just one of these natural things for your body that makes your brain believe that you are in control and that you have it, and it takes all the stress away. So again, next time you're in maybe a social situation where you're a little anxious, try striking the Wonder Woman pose, see if it helps. I also brought a few things that maybe you don't have in your home, but that you could either buy on different websites and things, or you can use in different ways. So the first thing I want to show are these colored glasses. And these are color therapy glasses. Now, I am not educated in color therapy. However, I do have a friend who is, and she's taught me a little bit about them. But really, you don't have to have any education to get some benefits from color therapy. So, Larkin, which one do you want to put on?
The blue one.
So you just put the glasses on. Oh, did you pick your favorite color? I can't even see the color because mine are so, I put the red ones on. But colors invoke a certain emotion in you. And so if you're feeling bad or sad or angry, and maybe I want to feel more loving, I might put red glasses on. Larkin likes the blue ones because the blue ones are all about peace and tranquility, and they bring this sense of peace to your life immediately. Now, you may not have these colored glasses at your house. I went and bought some because I think they're so cool. And actually, the yellow ones are my favorite because they're joy. And who doesn't need more joy in their life? But if you have construction paper, you can just look at a piece of paper that is one of these colors. Or the clothes that you wear invoke these same emotions, or the colors that you paint your house. So you can, I'm not going to take the time to tell you what each of these colors mean. That would be for a different episode maybe. But you can certainly Google that kind of stuff to find out a little bit more about what each color individually means. It's pretty neat. And again, it's just playing, right? And taking note of your body and how your body feels when you're looking at particular color, and get real mindful about what that feels like. I'm gonna do this activity with you now, if you don't mind. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a mindful art activity that, and again, all of these techniques that we're going to talk about today can be done with kids of almost any age and also with adults. So while I try to bring this stuff to kids because this is when it really starts taking effect and taking hold, you as an adult can do these things too. So grab any color you want or a pen or whatever you want, and I want you to close your eyes and, got it? And I just want you to close your eyes and do some, just scribble over the page wherever your hand feels like going, and just make a few scribbles, but don't lift your pen up, okay? And while she's doing this, she's just gonna make some scribbles wherever she feels like it. Okay, that's probably good. Okay, and now what I'm gonna have her do while I'm talking about a couple other things is, can you hold that up, Larkin, so they can see what your scribbles look like? So she just made some scribbles, and it doesn't matter what they look like. Okay, it can look like anything, but right now it looks like a mess. So now I want you to just take a few minutes, and you can turn the paper any way you want, but take a few minutes and look at those scribbles and see if you can find any kind of design in there that's an object or something, and then I want you to color it in, okay? So you see how that can be real mindful. She's gonna inspect it and really get intimate with the scribble, and then take some time to draw over it. I used to do this, when I worked mental health, I was a pediatric mental health nurse, and I worked on a children's unit, and I used to do this as a group therapy project, and boy, the students just loved this activity. And actually, the staff would come too because we all enjoyed doing this one. So try it, it's pretty fun. Some other things that we do, Larkin and I do on my own, is become sort of one and intimate in nature. So I actually do some workshops out in the community. The next one is in July, and I take a group of people out into the park, and we just walk for a bit in total silence. Now there's more to it, but for part of it, we walk in the park in total silence, and we are taking in all 5 of our senses. And when you're looking at all 5 of your senses, this is when you're being very mindful. So we think about, what does the air smell like? Can I smell the trees or the flowers? Then we think about, what do my feet feel like on this path? So we think about the actual touch. We'll go touch different, the bark or the leaves or the petals of a flower or the grass under our feet. How does that actually feel? Because we don't take a lot of time to do this in our lives, right? What do I see? And when I'm real mindful in the park, I usually take some time and stand in the middle of a path and look up into the trees and search for birds. Because you hear them all around, but really they're kind of hard to find. They hide in those leaves. And so I get real mindful just searching for birds. So what do you see, smell, feel? Is there any taste? What taste is already in your mouth? Sometimes we'll pick a piece of grass and chew on the grass. What does it taste like? Some edible plants and things like that we might taste. And of course, what are you hearing? And just really listening closely to the environment that you're in. And the impetus for me doing this particular episode happened at my last mindfulness workshop, and it was because we sat around the playground and we were real mindful and listening to the noises at a children's park. And there were about 30 children playing at that park, and we sat there for maybe 5 minutes just listening. And in those 5 minutes, we heard no laughter, none. And it was really sad. And we had some discussion about why and how sad that was and how could we help. And one of the things that I know is that a lot of our kids are really stressed. And so even when they're playing, they're not playing with joy and freedom that we think that they would be, because they have so many things going on in their heads and they haven't had a chance to get real mindful. How's your picture coming? It looks like it's coming along pretty good. Oh my goodness. Are you done or are you still working?
I'm still working.
Still working. We'll check in. All right. So walking in the park, attending to your five senses. And if you have a kiddo, you can tell them, like the Wonder Woman pose and the Superman pose. Kids love superheroes, so you can tell them, turn on your spidey senses and see what your spidey senses feel. Okay. Another thing that we love in our house is essential oils. And there are a lot of great places you can get essential oils, and you can get them online. You can get them all over the place. I have several different types here. Now this one here is only for aromatherapy and should not be put on your body. So you should read your labels and know if I can touch this kind of oil. This one only goes in like a diffuser, but I typically buy things that say 100% therapeutic grade oil, and that way I know that it can be put with a carrier oil and put on my body if I want to. I won't, again, go into the effects of each of the different oils. That's for a different episode. But again, you can use your resources and use things like Google and find oils that might help you. And, there's been a lot of research. I'm a nurse, so I'm really into understanding the mechanism of action for these things. And there actually has been a lot of research done on color therapy and oils and things like that. But regardless of what the research may or may not show, my personal belief is if you believe it will work for you, it will. Because it's all about the power of your mind. So if you think that lavender is calming and helps you sleep, and you put a little lavender on your pillow every night and you have wonderful sleep, then it works, right? So it's not harmful. In most cases. Now, some people do have allergies to these things, so I do recommend that you start with caution, finding out what you might be allergic to. I have a friend who's very allergic to basil oil, which I would have never even thought. I use the basil for insect repellent because it's a natural insect repellent, and she was like, no, I can't use it. I will break out into a rash. So I do recommend that you're careful about that piece. And some of them are real stinky. So smell the bottle before you put it on your skin, right? Some of them are really stinky. And then if you have it on your skin, it will last all day, in some cases, especially if it stinks, you can't get it off. If you love the smell, of course, it wears off really fast. That's just how it is. All right, so essential oils. Another thing that Larkin loves to do, one of our favorite games to play, and we haven't done this in a while, but sometimes when her friends come over, we'll play this game. And so what we do is I'll take out some spices out of my spice cupboard, cinnamon, salt, pepper, garlic, whatever is in there, and put them in on a spoon or in a little bowl or on a plate or something, and put blindfolds over them. And then they have a blind taste test. And so they put their finger in the salt, blindfolded, so they don't actually know what they're putting their finger in. And then I have them touch it, smell it, taste it, and see if they can guess which of those spices are they tasting. And that's really fun, isn't it? You like doing that?
I like that.
Yeah, and that's engaging all of their senses again, with the touch of the spice to see if they could tell just by touch, by what it smells like, and sometimes that ruins it because yes, they usually can, and then by taste, and we play all around with those things. Sometimes I mix the spices, so you enjoy doing that, huh? And I almost forgot, back to Larkin talking about really enjoying activity as a mindful thing and helping her cope with problems and things like that. One thing that you can have someone do who is getting upset, anxious, angry, any of those negative emotions that we don't really want to see our kids going through. If they don't have any other activity that they really enjoy doing, just doing 10 to 15 jumping jacks snaps your brain into a different mindset. So that's something that costs nothing except the energy, and is easily done with a child. So engaging them and things like that. But when after they're all done doing the jumping jacks, you can ask them to think about, what does their heartbeat feel like now? Can they breathe and slow their heart rate down at all? And that is helping them attend mindfully to what their body is doing and how it's responding. All right, I think this masterpiece is about done. How were you feeling while you were doing that?
Good.
Yeah. Did you listen to everything I was saying while you were, you could still listen to me? Because sometimes when I get real mindful, I tune everything else out except what I'm doing. Do you ever do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's see what you drew. A super alien. Can you believe that's what her scribbles turned into? Oh my gosh. I think that's so cool. I love it. Wow. How neat, Larkin. Thank you for doing that. You're so creative. And that leads me to another. Will you hold up the adult coloring book? This is another thing that's sort of all the rage right now, is adult coloring books. And kids enjoy adult coloring books too, don't you? And I know I've seen them at the dollar store. So these are inexpensive things that you can do, but they have patterns in them that are just repetitive patterns, and you can color them in while you're watching TV or just sitting at the table to sort of help you calm down, get into your headspace. And here, another idea that's a misperception about mindfulness is that people often think that mindfulness means you're rejecting thoughts, that you're not thinking and clearing your brain. But that it's actually kind of the opposite. It's that you allow thoughts to come into your head and then allow them to go like clouds passing through. So yes, your work stress is going to come into your brain. So you say, yeah, here it is, and let it through and make room for other thoughts. Your fight with your friend and what you said and what they said, that will come into your head when you're in a mindful place. But you allow it when you're practicing mindfulness to leave. And that's the basis for it, okay? Here's how I really learned to be mindful. Now, there are many different types of these kinds of journals on the market, but I particularly liked this one because it's 7 minutes a day. And when you open it up, there are prompts in here, and the prompts say things like, this morning I'm grateful for, and then you can list the things that you're grateful for. I'll make today enjoyable and interesting by, I will help others by, today I was energized when, my energy dropped when, and it also has a place where you can circle some of the emotions you might feel throughout the day. At the end of each week, let me see if I can find one really quick, there's a little mindfulness activity that you can do to enhance your skills. So while I'm not promoting this particular journal, I liked it, and there are tons of them if you go on different websites and just search for mindful journals. It might be a really helpful prompt to getting you thinking about things and ways to be mindful. The last thing I wanted to do, Larkin, was with you, and I wanted to show the tuning forks. Because you like the tuning
Yes.
forks, don't you?
I
So what do we do with these things? Have you ever
You take them and you bang them together.
Okay. Or
And
with
then
something
you can
else.
listen
Right?
it.
Yeah.
You can listen to all of the different like sounds and stuff.
Yeah. And just think about how did the sound start at the beginning? What's the arc of the sound? When can you stop hearing it? When does the sound totally go away? Right?
Yeah.
And the tuning forks that I bought are tuned to a frequency that is a calming energy. And so I bought them specifically for calming effects, but you can buy different frequencies of tuning forks based on what your needs are. So Larkin and I love to just play. We play all the time with lots of different tools and techniques to enhance our happiness and joy and enjoyment in our lives. So I encourage you to check out my Facebook group. It's Omni Institute of Integrative Wellness. And on that page, I have lots of videos for other ways that you can improve your life. I love that that's just the top of my head, but there are several different videos that teach you, and I made them all 3 to 5 minutes tops. So they're real quick bursts of video that can help you improve your own life, improve the way that you're thinking about things, and techniques for actually actively changing your thoughts. If you'd like more information, please email me. I offer lots of services in the community. I love trying to help people find their optimal functioning. So my email is catackett@hotmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you.